Hi, Andy. Right. Okay, yeah, hold on. Okay, never go, I'll be after that, okay? Just good one. Cheers, mate, bye-bye.
Cast. I don't know where we are.
Are you there?
I'm here. Yeah.
Okay.
We're not on screen. I don't know what's going on here. Hang on. I've definitely broken it. Hang on a minute. I can't get anything on screen.
Just restart.
I'm gonna refresh. We're back in a second. Good morning, Kelly. Good morning, Fons.
They must see us.
They can't. Well, I don't know.
How would they know we're here?
Well, they can see me. No, they can't. I'm not sure what they can see. Oh, they can see us.
They can see us.
Everybody can see us, but I can't see us. Okay, let's see if we get. See if we get John on screen. Okay, I'm going to refresh because I can't see anybody.
Could you hear me speaking to my employee guys?
Yeah.
Oh, they can see us.
I told them they ring at this time.
Right, okay.
No, every 10 o'clock every week. But here, listen, when it's £1,000, I'll take that call.
That was interesting. Not. I couldn't see anybody on screen. So we've got to catch up with all the messages. Hello from Kelly. Hello, Peter and Stephen. Yeah. Hello from Fons. Kelly could see us both. And Fons is saying he had this problem on Sunday. My screen was blank, Fons. And Kevin's with us. Kevin's saying, you know, we could hear Peter over the chat video. You're on screen, Stephen. Thank you. Okay, I think we've caught up on the comments now. Right, see you all now. Good morning. I'll edit that bit out. Well, no, I won't, John, will I? I'm not going to use the Facebook editor ever again. Morning, Peter. How are things in Aberdeen?
How could I say this? For me, there couldn't be any better.
Right, okay.
I'm feeling fine now. We're getting work galore. Just about every job we're putting in for that. I mean, that was £1,000 job there. I got the biggest loan I've ever got from the government. I got furlough money.
Good.
And things are just, and I got a new mixer for my singing. Do you know what I'm worried? Somebody's waiting around the corner with a big baseball bat saying, you think life was good, do you? Whack! No.
No. There isn't another shoe to drop, Peter. I'm pretty sure of that. We've had them all. Morning, John.
Good morning.
How are things in Solihull?
Same as were last week. I noticed a lot more traffic this morning because the roads are back. So.
Yeah, there's certainly a lot more traffic in Devizes, a lot more people about to say good morning to Claire. Morning, Claire.
They were on a single shift. Now they're on twin shift. So
right.
Hear them twice a day instead of, 4 times a day instead of twice a day.
Well, good. Right. Okay. Where do we begin? Anything happened since Friday through Monday or so? The continuing story. Right. Okay. It'd be good to have a vote first before we discuss this topic. Should Mr. Dominic Cummings resign? Just me then. Right. Oh, Peter was there as well. John's.
No, he shouldn't resign.
No.
No.
Quite honestly, it's blown out of all proportion.
Yeah. Because I'll tell you what, a certain Mr. Blackford, Ian Blackford, of the Scottish Nationalist Party, travelled from Westminster to the Isle of Skye. 256 miles or something like that, because he wanted to be with his wife. Did he stop on the way up? Did he go into petrol shops? Did he go, because he's a fairly big guy, I'm sure he would have liked a burger on the way home, you know? Neil Kinnock's son, is he going to resign? Well, those people that are throwing bricks at glass houses now, we've got to sit back, because if Cummins go, so have they, because they've all broken the rules.
How far did you think it was, Peter?
I can't remember, but is it, how many miles is it?
Well, you said 250 something. It's 615.
Yeah, 650 miles.
15.
Because he wanted to be with his wife. And he travelled all that. Do you think he stopped for petrol? Right. Could he have made it in one tank?
Thank you for evening things up, Claire. So 2 of us say he should go, and 2 of us say shouldn't.
So light him up. Sorry, Pizza. Right, he's gone. So are you. So are you. So are you. So are you. And so are you. And just knock them off that. If you're going to do it too, don't expect your head not to roll either. End of. Right, that's my say.
Whilst he didn't break the law, the government, well, it wasn't the law, it was not legal. The advice that was given to all of us was to stay at home. And we took that at face value. And as a country, we stayed at home. We didn't go out. It was emphasized that we shouldn't go out. So for 6 weeks, we didn't.
Yes, but if you
I
think
the man travelling home to Isle of Skye is different. He went home to stay at home from his place of work. I do not see that he did anything wrong at all, Pete.
I do, because he's home. He gets paid money to be at home in London.
Pete, that's not the same, because Parliament didn't meet, did it? So,
but his home's in London, and he travelled all that way
to be with his wife at his real home, not his temporary London home when he's doing his job. What is wrong with that, Pete?
Because he was in amongst Westminster, who some of them have had it, and all the way home he could have touched somebody or coughed on somebody.
But every single MP had to leave London and go home. Possibly.
I don't know whether that's true or not, but the point is he went home to his wife to stay at home with his family. Now, is that any different from someone who's been working in a shop going home to their family at night? Yeah, okay, 615 miles as opposed to perhaps most people are going 10. But at the end of the day, he went home to stay. And actually, I think he'd be far safer on the Isle of Skye than he would in staying in London.
No, because quite a lot of people died in a home up there. There's a bit of a scandal going on just now in Scotland with the figures. Anyway,
I've actually seen a lot about that particular home. You're quite right. But when you start comparing the figures for that home with many other homes, they're not that different now.
Okay, right. Here's the thing. Did he have the COVID virus before he left to go to Durham?
Yes, but whereas you're not saying that the guy who went home to his home in Skye knowingly had the virus.
No, I'm on about Dominic Cummings. Did he have it?
He thought his wife had.
His wife
Did
had
his wife-
it, and his wife believed, who is a doctor, by the way,
Mhm.
believed that she would, without doubt, pass it on to him.
but she didn't have the test before she went.
She knew she had it. Yeah. Anyway, it's over. It's done with. We should just move on. There are far more important things to worry about than one man.
I take your point on that, but that one man is the man who advises our Prime Minister, and he is in a position of power. And at least we're owed one thing, which is an apology, because they didn't.
I would not be unhappy with that. I agree with you entirely, Stephen. But
good. They did not tell us the exceptions. Whilst few people were qualified, people were being fined for doing exactly what he did. And I mean, to go out again from Barnard Castle for, beggars belief.
Here's another thing, right?
Mhm.
And I'm getting sick of both sides of the media. Not one of them has said, oh, see what was said about you having a second visit. It wasn't true. We're sorry we got that wrong. I'm really sorry about that. What one of them has said that yet?
None. Politicians don't apologise these days.
No, did the media
you're
apologise?
talking about the media. The media made quite a number of mistakes in their reporting.
Absolutely. What about that lady called Emily Matis? I don't really watch BBC Two. Why was she not on the next day after a rant?
Basically, it was I suppose it was a rant, Peter. It wasn't quite your style of rant, but it was a rant. She opened the show with a summary of the events as she saw them, and basically it's the way the majority of the country actually see it. According to a poll, more than 60% of the people agree with what was said. But there were complaints from the Conservatives that she was being highly political when the BBC should be neutral. And therefore, she was moved on last night, and somebody else replaced her. And somebody else replaced her and started the show. Well, not quite as strongly as Ms. Maitland, but certainly telling it as she saw it, however. All right, okay. So opinions are divided, but we'll see what happens on that. Okay.
Just one question on that.
Yeah, okay.
BBC, we're watching you. It's our money. Go and fight for a living. Don't lie back and take it. Your days are numbered. Anyway, carry on.
After 228 episodes, John, we just inured to it. Right, okay.
Hey, listen to this. They all did that. He didn't have symptoms.
Right.
Well, we know he didn't have symptoms, but we know his wife had it because she's a doctor and she's self-diagnosed and she knows what she's talking about.
Doctors aren't allowed to self-diagnose.
But it's right, okay.
Is there another topic we can move on to? Because this one's boring now.
Yeah, what about President Trump?
Let's talk about Barnard Castle then. All right, okay, no, right, okay. Right, things are moving forward in the next couple of weeks, and charity shops fear a deluge of donations when they reopen.
Mm-hmm.
And they've taken steps that normally with charity shops, you actually drop the goods that you're actually donating to the shop outside the front door. But that won't be happening.
No.
Everything's got to go to a local central depot and be sent out from there.
They've lost half their revenue, most of them.
Mm-hmm.
Lost half their revenue. And talking about charities, have you seen the escapade of the RNLI?
No.
Well, have you not? Listen, so 2 people drowned at a weekend because the RNLI did not put on beach guards for them to swim out and save them.
Yeah.
But they didn't put them out because they didn't have the necessary PPE for a swimmer. So this says we can't. They've got them on the cruise and the lifeboats. Now, here's the thing: everybody's claiming. What people have got to realise is the RNLI is a charity. which we're lucky to have. No, it's not like in America, they've got the Coast Guard. If they're not worried, government get a Coast Guard, the same as America, and they do not rely on charity.
We do have a Coast Guard, Peter, but it doesn't do the same as the American Coast Guard.
Yes, well,
Coast
you know
Guard
what?
manage the ships going through the channel, for instance,
Yes.
and other things. And you can dial 999 at the coast to get the Coast Guard. First of all, the beach isn't normal. Where they dial isn't normally managed by the RNLI. It's managed by a local surf lifeguard. I'm completely in agreement with your arguments. I'm not arguing against you. It just happens that in this particular case, the RNLI would not have been patrolling that beach anyway. A local lifeguards association would have done it. But they too are not putting people out because they don't have PPE. However, there were volunteer people on one of the two beaches where people died on the weekend.
It's sad.
They're not acting in official capacity.
One of the things this morning.
Do you know that they're only going to do 70 beaches this season instead of 240, the RNLI?
But it's up to them if they want to do it because it's a charity. Now, here's the thing this morning. Nick Ferrari has been on giving them a hard time. He says to the guy that was on, because the chief exec, he says, do you know how much money you've got in reserve for so-called emergency? They've got 124 million pounds sitting in reserve. Now, people are starting saying, we're not going to give you any more, especially with the debacle over at the Kent coast. Because we're going in just inside the French border in the sea, and you know what's happening there.
Yeah.
Not getting no money anymore. Views?
See, the problem is, as you said, they're a charity. B, they're being humane and picking up people who are in unsuitable things on the sea, trying to get to England. But they are handing them over to immigration when they do rescue them. It's not like they're letting them into the country.
But going back to that, the French authorities should say right at the beginning, you ain't going out in that. Turn back. Get in.
But you don't know whether they started at the dead of night so that the French people weren't able to see them. So
they're escorting them off. Why would they turn off their transponders? Did you know they've done that?
Who've turned the transponders off?
The French ships have.
Mm-hmm.
So you can track them, you see. Just like a plane here. They've turned their transporters off. I wonder why.
As long as you're not going to invade, Peter, we're okay.
No.
Sorry.
Well,
there's aspects of French life I wouldn't mind coming over here.
Vraiment. Okay, let's go international then. We've not mentioned him for quite a while because we've been taking part in other things. I thought I clicked it. I'm pretty sure I clicked it. I did, yeah. President Trump is to sign an executive order about social media, and he's going to close down Twitter. Well, we don't know actually what's going to be in the executive order, but he was fact-checked by Twitter, and everybody who saw the tweet saw the Twitter fact-check, and if you're going to start fact-checking now, there is no end.
Yeah.
So he's basically lost Twitter as a medium for getting up at 2 a.m. and telling the world what's going on. Twitter
has now opened himself up as a publisher, because that's what they're looking at the moment. Twitter and Facebook are not publishers at the moment, right? Mm-hmm. And the minute they've done that, out of all the fact checks in the world, Twitter done it for one person, the President of the United States, right? So I'll be interested to see what is going to happen. Very interested.
Twitter fact check people all the time, though. He's not just been singled out. I mean, it's an automated process.
No, it's the first time Twitter has put out a fact check like that.
John, help.
I don't know. I've more, apart from the fact that I tweet on behalf of some customers, don't really use Twitter these days.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't really serve my purposes anymore.
Okay, what's been happening behind the scenes, guys, is all the conservative voices have one by one been knocked off of platforms, one by one. You will hardly see any conservative speakers on these platforms. And they've been looking at it, and that's what they're looking at the moment.
Okay.
Plenty of lefties.
It'd be interesting to see what actually happens next in regard to that, and I'll take that off screen.
Now, I thought you might say by now, Peter, what a learned man you are, because that's because of the books I read here.
I'm impressed, Peter. They're beautifully bound, and it looks like they've never been off the shelf, Peter. But
You thought I was
it looked good.
I thought everybody else has got bookcases with it. Do you know what's amazing? The amount of people, they don't listen to the interviewee. They look at their bookcase to see what they're reading. Why are you reading a book about Hitler? Because you've got to know both sides of the story. That's why.
Stephen, after last week's, he's got the same picture. After last week's talk by Steve Dotto with Luria.
Yeah, Luria.
Yeah. They live streaming professionals or whatever they called. They gave a free download of a how to do backgrounds.
Yeah.
And it was quite good, actually, believe it or not, because it was all about having your own customized background, i.e. having some shelves or something behind you and putting things on it that made it personal. And it's quite good. I think I'm going to pinch some of the ideas out of it.
Very good. Shelves behind you.
Maybe I'll link up to that if you've got it. I'd like to listen to that.
Yeah, she's very good. I agree with John.
Have you seen who's back commenting? Do you know who's back commenting? Commenting. Tish is back.
Who? Tish?
Yes,
Yeah.
mate. Watched Steve Dotto first time the other day. Great info. Picked up a few new tips, and we'll come down to. Wait a minute. I'm looking for the comment, Peter. Is it most recent or
Blabbing for Britain? It must be on the live page.
right? Okay. Yeah, it's probably on the Blabbing for Britain page. So hello, Tish. Okay. So.
It's not been very well, has she? So it's good to have her back.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to have Tish back. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, very apt is this. I think I'm certainly waiting to go. I don't know about you guys, but hairdressers say they're ready to open in June. And I mean, normally I wouldn't bother, but it's annoying me.
But I'm still apprehensive of going back to somebody so near me.
It looks so short. Why do you need to go?
Who? Stephen?
Yeah.
It's not short enough, John.
He's got a haircut like Nero.
Thank you for that. Yeah, and it's not so much. It's basically if they could open up, then they'd have a rush on their hands. The government haven't said anything yet. They're not in the list of places that are going to open. We do have places going to open next Monday, don't we? June 1st, June 15th are the main opening days. And by June 15th, all shops will be able to open apart from hairdressers and pubs. Do you hear Wetherspoons have actually got 785 pubs and they're refurbishing a lot of them?
Do you know what? Do you know what a statistic or something I read? I think it was today or a couple, just in the last few days or something. A statistic, it scared me. Or remember when all the workers were still going into building sites and working? Do you remember that?
Yeah, well, they are back now in certainly England.
Unfortunately, a lot of them have died. A lot of them have died.
That wasn't. I was listening to Peter. I wasn't listening. Well, I was. Of course, I'm listening to Peter.
Were you aware of that?
No.
It's just something I was reading up the other day. A lot of the workers that kept on working and meeting on building sites are dead. I'll have to fact check it.
Mm-hmm.
But
of course you will.
Did see it written down. In fact, that's one thing what I've learned about this virus and everything. I read things too easily, but I'm going to do a bit of fact checking shortly to make sure things are right, before you say anything.
Okay. Right. Where can we go now?
Where is Stoke?
I don't know what much from Stoke is. He's not sent a message to us or to me, or I have no idea. So perhaps he's out in the sun in Stoke.
Yeah.
Right. Now,
check here first.
Some of the schools are due to go back next week, but there's been no decision yet on primary. Do we think? I don't know. Did we discuss this last week? Children going back to school?
Can't remember. I don't think they should.
I don't think they should either. I mean, it's a fact that we know we've had 37,000 deaths in the UK, but only 3 deaths have been of anyone under 15. Now, that's 3 too many. So that sort of statistically says that the risk is very low. But
it's not them.
You've got to think about the teachers and everybody who's running the school, the auxiliaries in school. I don't think we're right yet. I would be happier if they said, right, okay, that's it for this term, and we'll come back in September.
I think there should be compulsory doing what we are doing now. And if the parents don't do it, I don't know you handle that, but if they don't do it and say, I've no broadband, we'll get you broadband. And I haven't got a computer. I've got my cigarettes though, but they should be given a computer, right? And they should be made to go online. Like, hey, see if I don't go and do my Duolingo just recently for German, there's a lot of owl comes up and tells me off. Have you seen that, by the way, Stephen? Duolingo.
Yeah.
The little owl comes and tells you, come on, you need to get on.
Yeah, you've got to do your stuff. You've got to keep going, otherwise they do complain.
Yeah.
And just to confirm that Stoke is in the house, if not in the shape of Stephen, Paul has joined us.
He looks like a shark. Oh, it's not him.
Okay. I'm having great fun doing those.
That looks very good, that, actually. Why can't I play videos in my background? Should I be able to?
You should be able to, yeah.
In XSplit, do you get videos in XSplit?
You can now. In XSplit, you can have you can take the source as being a YouTube video.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll do that.
Try it, and because it's constantly moving, unless you've got the right video, it's downright bloody annoying for other people.
Right.
Too much going on. So as a background, that is.
If I put the shark behind me.
Yeah, do that. And
okay. I'll do that before the end of the show.
So can you turn the sound down on it, yeah?
A nice gentle swimming around. I'm talking about where you've got things moving all over the place.
Okay, let's go to YouTube and see if I can find one.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Tell me, Have you come across hawthorn flies in your walkabouts and that down in Englandshire?
No.
It's called the hawthorn fly. And it's all over Britain just now. There's masses of them when you go to trees. And I've been in the papers twice, get my name mentioned about it, and this is we'll send you some questions. When did you become an expert in hawthorn fly? I said, well, I'm not, but we've got to know a little bit anything, and our entomologists back us up. Do you think that was a good get out clause there? Right. Oh, I forgot I had more tea. Has any of you take up cycling yet?
Thinking about it, Peter, but the roads are getting busier.
Yeah, worry about the roads. Oh, what's this? Be a delivery. That dog's great for telling me when there's a delivery.
Right.
It's what's happening.
I'm going to change my background.
Okay.
And let's see what happens.
I think this is the best background I've had yet. Do you think so?
You don't get a great deal of distortion on it, which is very good.
Yeah.
I mean, round your head.
So there's no sound, is there?
No.
Right. So you can go to background. You can move in background, but there is no sound, which is
very quickly.
Yeah, and after a while, if you've got it on loop, other people in your Zoom start complaining about it.
Well,
That's
yeah,
what happened to me.
Right, it's doing my head in, so I'm going to switch back. I got the books, I think, Peter. I love the books.
All the other people
we're in the same room.
in as well.
Right, talking about everybody's on Zoom. Apparently, I'm just going to find it.
Who's Roland Millward jumping in here without me knowing him?
Okay, Roland is a good friend, lives close by.
Well, I have met him, yeah.
And I don't want to believe anything he says because he's a joker.
Then see you, yeah.
Hawthorn flies are part of the government cover-up. They are aliens. At least I hope he's joking.
I don't think he has inside knowledge, John. I think we're safe. Like the video from
button down then.
Yes, Linda. It's going to scroll, is that? All right. Okay. And okay. All good. Right. Now, apparently, in recent weeks, there has been a great increase in video streaming. And the fact that struck me, fifth of homes have signed up for Netflix, etc. Do you know what the most popular channel has been in the last 2 months in terms of increasing subscribers?
Netflix?
Nope. John, one guess.
Well, I don't stream video, so
all right.
The only thing I have is Prime, but I have that for delivery of parcels and things.
Right. It's the Disney Channel.
All right, yeah.
But come on, they've been throwing money at it left, right, and centre, haven't they? And they're doing it dirt cheap as well.
$5.99, I think, a month. And apparently, most homes now have 2.54 video services being streamed in.
I've got two.
Which two, if we may ask?
Prime, which is a good deal, to be honest with you. And I've got Netflix on the $5.99 a month.
Yeah,
the cheapest you can get, because it doesn't mean you have to get the full high disc.
Two.
Yeah,
John. I just got Amazon Prime.
I don't watch streaming. I've got Amazon Prime. I do believe Phil's got his own Netflix account, but we don't watch Netflix. And I can't work out how you watch Amazon Prime on Virgin Media. Keep meaning to contact them and ask them how you do it, because Amazon Prime is available on Virgin Media.
Right.
Do it in YouTube, John. A man or your caliber should be able to do that. I'll tell you what.
You know about watching Amazon Prime on the telly. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it doesn't seem any obvious way of setting it up.
I'll tell you what I've got a problem with. My Wi-Fi for it keeps going off, and I cannot, for the life of me, get the network to work where the cable goes in the back. It doesn't find it, you know. So I don't know what it is. So, but did you know you can buy a film from YouTube and watch it?
I'm sure you can.
Yeah.
You can purchase from them. You know, right.
I mean, I don't go to the cinema or anything like that. Films, you know, I only watch the occasional film. I mean, I went into the front room and settled down yesterday and watched the last 10 minutes of Apollo 13. That's the first time I watched a bit of film for God knows how long.
Do you know the only thing that's different for me in the whole scenario is, one, I don't go cycling with my club anymore, and two, I don't go to the pub and sing anymore. And that for me is just about it. Nothing's changed.
Yeah, very little has changed here either, because we work from home, so there's no real change.
But it has changed, Peter, because you're on singing on the internet instead.
That's right. And you know, a guy, I don't know if I told you this, but a singer up here, and also has got a music studio up in Lossiemouth area. He said, Facebook has the deal, right, about singing. So basically on Facebook, you can really do it. Now, EMI have just signed a deal with Facebook, because do you remember when I used to do my Keep Fit to Elvis Presley? I used to use songs from YouTube, and the songs belonged to the film belonged to EMI. So they cut the film. They would play me doing that, but they wouldn't have the music. But then I got a thing in saying, yeah, it's all sorted now, and the music's back. So EMI done a deal. I could sing on here if I wanted, but I'm not going to do it. But there's no problem as long as I'm not really making money and stuff like that. And if you do, you can buy a license, I believe, for public performance for £144.
Yeah, I've heard that too. Yeah.
So there you go. And it's been great because Facebook, they have got so many talented singers popping up all over the world. People are popping up I've heard some beautiful singers that otherwise never have heard of them singing. Well, I like old songs, you see, and fantastic.
Well, when we'd been 3 weeks into lockdown, discovered a UK-based lockdown group with artists and singers in there as well. Yeah. And there were literally, it's got 800,000 members, and they were doing performances every day. And some fantastic acts, as you said, Peter, never been heard before, never been seen. They'd be doing in local clubs. So I came up with an idea to do a show with Fonz actually having the acts on, but we're still waiting for you will. You get an improvement in sound, hopefully. Right? Okay.
Well, yeah, it's all here. I've been done the other day with my old system because it's substitute, but today I've just set up a brand new Mackie system, 230 quid it was, and it's arrived the next day. Getting it set up after this, and
what system?
It's a Mackie mixer. No, a music mixer.
All right.
And it goes. There's a thing called a GTO or is it TGO, and it plugs into the iPad. So we're using the iPad because it's i7 capability type stuff. and it's amazing. And I've actually got a guy that's very well-known singer here in Aberdeen, and he's my mentor now, and he's helped me, and he listens to me and says, stop, right, up bit, do this, that's not quite right. So I've actually got a singing mentor now. Oh, da 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 da.
I'm hidden by a banner.
A really fabulous piece of music from Peter. Thank you. Morning, chaps.
Morning, Pete. Stephen, how are you?
Very well, very well. Got major. Seems to have major problems with the network at the moment. Don't know why, but hopefully I'll stay on long enough to give a contribution. How are we all anyway? You all?
Hey, happy day,
The freedom of being able to go out when you want is just amazing. And you now start to appreciate how good it is when you can do things when you want to, rather than being restricted.
Why are we all? Are we on locks now?
We can go out as many times as we want today.
Yeah.
But where?
We'll walk.
Yeah, so you can't go to Alfred's, or you can't go to home base, which is where I've just been for some non-existent paint.
You can go to B&Q. There's nothing stopping you.
Can you go to B&Q
twice?
Say again, mate.
Can you go to B&Q twice?
Ooh.
Does anybody?
Aha!
You need a big fat wallet if you want to go to B&Q twice.
Yeah. Do you know what?
Who likes to be in a queue? I don't.
I was in a queue for
I don't.
About 5 minutes.
You know, I've got to say, there's times where I'll go a couple of times, and I do go into the likes of Tesco's. I keep my distance, and there's nobody there. I go in the afternoon.
That's Aberdeen, though, Pete. It's Aberdeen. That's Aberdeen, mate.
What's that, mate?
That's Aberdeen. Nobody wants to go to Aberdeen.
Don't live up here. We're cosmopolitan city, you know.
No, I don't.
A big announcement to make.
Ooh.
Yesterday was my last ever meeting of BNI.
Couldn't see anything there, dude.
Hang on a minute.
There you go.
Have you quit?
Yes.
Why?
Because just new opportunities, and everybody knows me anyway, and I've looked at all the work that I got in, and people that have left over the years, especially estate agents, they make the majority of the money I still get through BNI of being a member from the past. So a lot of people have came and gone, but they've used me ever. Now I'm not gaining. I actually gave over my lifetime of 6 years. I gave over £100,000 worth of work out, and I think I got about £17,000 in my lifetime.
Oh, that's not very much, mate.
No, but it's the industry we're in. You know what? I like my 50 quid here and 100 quid here, but saying that, the last job I priced was £28,000, and it took 6 years to do that. But new opportunities, and what I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to be doing direct marketing. I'm even thinking of getting a telemarketer to do a few hours a week for me. It's direct marketing. Go get them, boy! Go get them!
When you start shouting, Peter, we all come back so that we can actually go like, no! Right, just one thing before we move on, Peter.
And how much are you going to save, Peter?
Pardon?
How much a year will you save for
About 900 quid.
About 1,500 quid all told with your training and your play. We were about, I think we were 50 quid a month to pay for our venue and our food. I mean, a lot of people know me, but it's not every day people's got pest control next door.
About 1,500 quid will buy you a lot of Facebook advertising or whatever.
That's what I was thinking. I've got to look at different avenues, and something I'll be talking to you about as well. And yeah, it's really made me. I've went my period of networking, and that's enough for me now. Now it's, and that's what I want to talk to you about to get my Google thing in to see it, working rather than the other one. So I'll get that done for you. Yeah, so things are changing. Have you made any changes since it? Have you thought anything new since this happened to you?
Absolutely. In two areas.
Right.
First one is that, as you know, I run a local networking group called Sting. It's a Staffordshire Independent Networking Group.
Yes.
SIN. Get it? And we've gone online, so we do 3 meetings a week with Zoom. And I've just built an online community. I thought you'd be aware of forums. No?
Forums.
Yeah, well, we all used to use forums a long time back.
Yeah, well, they are really popular now because it's all well and good having a website, but getting the interactivity between your brand and your audience, and that's not just your customers or your stakeholders, but it's actually having somewhere where you can have discussions. And if you ever get a chance, guys, to read this book from a guy called Richard Millington, he's an absolute fabulous it's a consultant, I suppose. In fact, he's founder of Viva BA Community Consultancy, and he's worked with over 100 organizations to develop thriving online communities. And I did some work. I engaged with him about 6 years ago.
Yeah.
And I promise you, it's a fabulous thing. And I'm now on building my third online community. So have I changed, Peter? Yeah. I mean, I'm still.
Could you give me an example of that working? Just one small example of the forum and what you've done.
Well, I can show you. I think
you can screen share.
I'll get it. If I gave you a web, what do I do, mate? Put it in the chat.
Yeah, you can put a link in the chat. Okay. While Stephen is busy doing that, I want to say one thing, Peter. You're going to go full screen for a second. I've never seen your picture looking so good. John?
That's because I'm in it.
Yes.
No, not just because you're in it. I don't think we've had as clear a signal from Aberdeen as that in all the time we've been doing this.
Yeah.
It's redone his wiring, and that's made a difference.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I actually going away to get a guy to put in a 6-core for me. I gave Sheila the bad news last night. I go, Sheila, have we got a hatch on that floor there? No. I says, there's going to be.
Yeah.
She doesn't like it. And she says, well, where's it going to go? I says, it's going to run under a building. It's going to come out. And there's going to be a metal cable. It's going to come through the garage. It's going to plug right in. And that are going to be hardwired right to the computer. And I'll be buying a new computer as well, John. I've got the cash now.
Matter.
Good.
Hey, what's the matter?
Right, did you get that thing up and running, Stephen?
I sent it to P. Stephen. My dad always used to call me P. Stephen because my brother's called Peter. And for about 40 years, he called me P. Stephen. And guess what the other day? P. Stephen.
Do you know, I met a guy online. Why? Not that way. Just one of my forums. But my forums, all they do is fight with one another. But one of the guys is ex-Household Cavalry as well. Down Edwards. But we came to the argument about paying. I says, I ask up front. And I was a real smart. He says, I never ask up for get. I said, well, you run your business. And it was getting, says, so do you buy fish and chips? And I thought, okay, well, you going back later to pay them? It quite went, that was quite funny. And yeah, right. What are you saying, John?
Okay.
Have you found that link?
What product are you using to create your forums?
WordPress, and I was using BB Press or
So you're using the old traditional bulletin board software?
Yeah, basically, yeah. It's just one part of a community I'm building, because it's not just about having the software there and you can create threads and what have you. It's about the actual engagement with the audience. So having people who say, they create pages. They create threads and they create topics, and then people jump in and have discussions. So it really is about the.
How do you see that being different from Facebook groups?
Because I own it.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I decide how it gets promoted, and we will promote to Facebook for sure. But in the same way as you're using, I don't know, is it Be Live to do this? You could use, is it Google Groups, Facebook Groups? I'm not sure. But I own the. It's kind of. I think of it more as a project, right? So it's my project on behalf of Sing, and we determine what it looks like, where it goes out. We don't have to. I mean, I've got a downer on Facebook anyway as a provider, but I do think that we'll benefit from getting off of Sting. We've got our own private Facebook group, but again, I wanted my own because I've got a lot more control over what's seen and viewed and whatever.
Can I ask if you've used Google Meetings with it then?
Well, Google Meetings is different. Google Meetings is like Zoom, is like this.
Yeah.
And we are incorporating Google Zoom meetings into the forum.
It's called Google Meetings.
It was.
It's called Google Meet now. Just
John Penn.
But no. The reason I'm going on to say this is that PC World, the biggest online magazine, did a review of Zoom versus Microsoft Teams versus Meet, and Google Meet came out top.
Who did?
Google Meet came out top, and they compared features, benefits, etc. And they also put it out for people's evaluation, and Google Meet came out as the best of the three products.
Because they say why? What was the top reason?
Functionality, clarity of people on screen, the ability to arrange the screen, the ease of use, the fact that it already had prevention in that's had to be added to Zoom as an afterthought.
Yeah. So everybody's got to have a Gmail account.
Personally, I'm just saying that it came top of a survey.
When was that survey done?
It's in PC World, the US magazine.
When?
Oh, in the last few days.
Oh, excellent.
So, John, everybody's got to have a Gmail account for it. Is that correct?
I've never used it, so I don't know the answer to that question. Who doesn't have a Gmail account? I must have at least 8. But I use.
I'm sticking with Zoom at the moment.
I'm not saying you should. I'm saying I read this nice, really good article, and they liked that. I mean, there are advantages in the Microsoft Teams product, but
it's not for me, mate. Teams is just too.
But it's for
I agree, and it's so difficult to sort of just jump on and do something.
One serious question about Google Meet: is there any way you have to pay for it?
Well, you have to pay for Zoom, so why would you not?
No, but is there any way you have to pay for it? Because we're like free.
I think you can do the same as you can with Zoom. You can do a limited amount of things, and then you have to put your hand in your pocket.
The way I'm looking at it, Peter, is if you're running something for business, if you're doing it for free, you've got no comeback on them. There's no way you can sort of say you did something wrong there, and they say, yeah, you haven't paid for it, and you say, still you did, and if you're buying something, then there's a contract between you and whoever, and if something goes wrong, you can refer to that contract.
Yeah.
It's freemium at the end of the day, isn't it? It's free up to a point, and then it's premium after the free bit.
Very good. Premium after free. You see, I'm paying for Be Live.
It's a very common way of selling software. Use
Absolutely.
it, and when you want more, you buy a license.
Yeah. Well, I've got to start getting used to this one. I'm paying for 25 quid a month.
For what?
For this. I purchased it.
For which? What
for this Be Live. For Be Live.
Oh yeah, but we're not using your 25 quid. We're using Stephen.
I need to use it again. I need to start using it. I've actually feeling a lot better. My sugar level has come plummeting down. It's great, and I feel so much better. I really do. Yeah.
Right, just a note. The link, if you want to send it, Stephen, host chat. I can read it, but I can't copy it.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll drop it off next week. We're nearly finished. I'll drop it off next week, and then you can have a look.
Sounds good. Okay.
Are you just doing that locally, Stephen P? Is it just local to you? You're doing it.
The networking group is yes, and the other one is as part of a bigger national organisation, and the other one is a university. So you can't tell anybody else.
Okay.
The reason I keep on looking, I've got my son's dog here. Major, come on, up you come. Up you come. He's going to be broadcasting to the nation. He's about
nice white teeth.
It's gorgeous, gorgeous doggy, aren't you? Yes, you are.
Today marks the beginning of Track and Trace. How do we feel about it? Good. Right. Okay.
No, I think got away saying get away with it.
I think we've all. It does scare me a bit. You have to be beside somebody for 15 minutes, you know. And here's the other thing. I was listening to this morning. If you get it, they'll say quarantine, but it's advisory. Did you know that?
Everything we've done so far has been advisory or instructional, but not the legal requirement.
Therefore, Mr. Cummins didn't break the law.
He misused the law. Unless Stephen's not had his say, but he misused the law. There was, it's like a codicil, I suppose, an extension put on to exceptions. And the exception was that if a child was in danger, and we're talking physical danger here, we're talking about interprotective care, then you can actually move. But it was Stephen, you can have your word about Mr. Cummings if you wish, or you can stay quiet. It's up to you.
All 15 seconds worth.
I can't, because we're a family audience, and he's just another charlatan, which will just more and more make it that the next Prime Minister of the UK, or whichever bit we end up with, will be Keir Starmer. So let's keep him in the fold. Let's keep him with Boris. He can do us nothing but good.
Do you know one thing I've noticed about our meetings? Stephen Salter, we're starting to look like we're looking like each other. Check our foreheads.
We've all got foreheads, you're
going to be my clone.
Right.
At least my head's the right size for my body. Yours is shrunk today, by the way.
John, it's over to you.
I didn't come here for this.
Goodbye from me. It's goodbye from Scotland, goodbye from Stoke, goodbye from Wiltshire, and we'll see you all next week. same time, same place. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.